Do you know what? I was thinking Gabriel and who missed the other one? It was Eze.
Yeah.
Eze. And I have taken penalties in games like that, cup finals and semi-finals, and you don't want to be the one that lets the team down. That's all you're thinking. Please don't miss the penalty, just to let everybody down, all the fans.
As a striker, as a forward player, would you have expected to take a penalty?
Yes. Like, I wouldn't let a centre-back take the pen. I'd be thinking, like, I can't let him take a pen before me. Like, that's why he's a centre-back, because he can't play in midfield. That's why they play at the back, Jeff. So, I don't know if you noticed this. When the final whistle went in the game, the Arsenal game, the camera went straight on Maduaki. Now, I remember him fighting over a penalty playing for Chelsea. And he's stretching his calves as if to say, I've got cramp. And he only come on in the 60th minute. I know he played in extra time. And then I thought, I bet he doesn't take a penalty. He's give it the old, I got cramp. He might have, to be fair to him, but he never took a pen.
Yeah.
And you do get people who turn their back and walk the other way. Go on, lads. You know, you get on with it. So you got to admire the ones who take the pens. And someone's got to miss at the end of the day. So it's harsh. But,
Yeah.
I know you got a different opinion on it than me.
It's harsh but dramatic, you know. Yeah.
I thought the game went exactly like they set out. Arteta's tactics were to smother Dembele, Kvaratskhelia and Doué, and that worked.
Mm-hmm.
He got everyone behind the ball. Havertz broke away, scored a good goal, and then they sat back in, and I thought, don't keep taking a step back. And once Havertz and Odegaard, who didn't take part in the game, by the way, invisible, once they stopped pressing on the front foot, the two centre-backs of PSG, they ended up sinking, and they never created any chances, to be fair. But Gyökeres come on, you think he's going to make some changes. He brought, I don't know how many £1 million worth of players he brought on, Arteta. And Gyökeres come on, and as a striker, myself, you have to get to the ball first. When we're defending and we clear a ball, or we pick our heads up, we've either got to be able to see your chest and hit you with the ball, or you've got to get to clearances first and hold the ball up for us. And he didn't hold one ball up.
Yeah.
And then when he got behind the ball, he was plodding in front of the defence. And they couldn't get out.
No, he didn't do himself any favours. That is for sure. Look, I expected it to unfold in exactly this way. My thoughts briefly are that Arsenal, having scored the opening goal, they've seen the vulnerabilities in that PSG defence. So why would you then decide to sit and defend for 85 minutes? You mentioned Odegaard. He might as well have stayed in North London, because the way the game was played out, not using any of Arsenal's attacking attributes in an attacking manner, meant that, you know, he just wasn't involved. Now, Arsenal fans, I expect them to be proud of how their team has done. They've been the best team in England. They've won the league. They've got to the Champions League final. They came within a penalty kick of winning it. But when I look at Arsenal, you know when you see a baby who's not particularly pretty and you say, only a mother could love that. Well, that is Arsenal in a footballing sense for the neutral. And just to want for the neutral. For Arsenal fans, completely get it. But for the neutral, people want to see them playing more expansively. Having said all of that, I'm not having the moaners. I'm not having the Spurs flops who are, you know, texting about things, putting messages on X. I'm not having Chelsea putting things on social media as well. Spurs and Chelsea, what have they won this season? Which European competition will they be playing in next season? The answer is none of them. You know, I'm not having people coming on and criticising Arsenal for that, including Gabby Agbonlahor and Jason Cundy, by the way, right out of order,
And Sim,
in
the
my
producer,
opinion.
behind the glass.
So, you know, so I get both sides of it. Yeah, I understand why the neutrals are not taken in, you know, not enamoured by Arsenal style, but I understand how Arsenal fans absolutely love them and love Arteta. Anyway, it wasn't to be for Arsenal.
I'm going to say well done to Arsenal. They won the league. They lost in the Champions League final on penalties. It's a million miles from where they were when Aubameyang was playing for them, and Ozil and Sanchez. So well done to the manager, well done to the club. They've now got to kick on from this and try and open up a bit.
See, the enmity towards Arsenal is pretty staggering. Rob says, Arsenal had one shot on target of 2 hours of football. They got exactly what they deserved, nothing. And I see that. The approach was wrong for me. But then he goes on to say 11 robots. Oh, get lost, Rob. Seriously. Who's going to call Eze a robot, or Bukayo Saka a robot, or Martin Odegaard a robot? You know, these are talented footballers. I just happen to think that maybe Mikel Arteta should have more faith in their attacking
It's called
abilities.
tactics, Jeff, really. It's tactics at the highest level. What are you going to do? Are you going to go in the ring with Mike Tyson and try and knock him out? Walk into the middle of the ring, leave your chin wide open. When he's got bigger punches than you. So I think that's what Arteta thought. They've got bigger punches than us.
Yeah, but ultimately, of course, it didn't work. They lost.
No, well, they lost on pens.
They lost. End of story.
I can't argue with you on that, but I thought they'd done what they set out to do, and it didn't work. They lost on pens.
Yeah. I mean, this is really interesting, actually, because talkSPORT's Voice of Live Football, Adrian Durham, brought you the Champions League final. We also, one particular spectator, shown a lot of times during the course of that game. So Adrian had his say on Arsenal's approach to the game.
Champions of England, 25%. They basically surrendered the ball against Paris Saint-Germain. They basically said, we can't compete on a football level, so we're just going to try and stop you and use our tactics, whichever way you want to describe them, streetwise or street smart or outhousery, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's the tactics that Arsenal tried to employ to get through and get the win in the Champions League final. It didn't work. I'd love to see them more expansive. I want to know really what Arsene Wenger, who was looking on at that final last night, what he really thought of the style of Arsenal, because he would never have played like that. 20 years ago, Arsenal played some great football, fantastic football. And I referenced the 4-2 on Good Friday in the Invincibles season against Liverpool. If you remember that, Henry's hat-trick, where he left Jamie Carragher on the floor. That's pure football. And there's none of that from this Arsenal side. Let's see Arsenal get back to where they should be, playing that kind of football.
Because Arsene Wenger had faith in Arsenal's attacking abilities. I don't want to see Bukayo Saka, who's criticised in certain media outlets, and Trossard. I don't want to. The reason that they didn't pose any attacking threat was because they were busy doubling up on the PSG wide players. It wasn't down to them. I thought they both did fantastic jobs in the tasks that Arteta had set them out to do. The problem was it was a task that they shouldn't have been asked to do.
Just on Arsene Wenger, he did have better players. Henry, Bergkamp, Overmars are miles better than Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli or Trossard. So he did have better players. Henry, there will be as Perez, Ray Parlour just behind him, Merson. He had better players. So if I had those players and I was a manager, I'd say we'll score more than you.
Arsenal have got fantastic players.
I'm not sure whether, well, in years to come, Saka's a good player, Trossard's a good player, Havertz is a good player. They're not great players, are they? When you think about it, they're not really great players. Henry, one of the best ever. Bergkamp, one of the best ever. Overmars. They had Perez. If you ask Arsene Wenger who was the best player you had, he says Perez. They were better players.
Were wonderful.
And then behind them, you've got Petit, Vieira, Ray Parlour. They were just better players. He had a better team, and it's a bit like PSG's team. When you go the front three, you go, come on then, and we'll score more than you.
Just quickly, a P as texts, Jeff, why should Chelsea and Spurs stop being rivals just because she feels sorry for Arsenal? I don't feel sorry for Arsenal, and nor should they. The point is, you don't post text taking the mickey out of a side who've done so much better than you have and your team has. Just be a bit respectful. Daniel, the Chelsea fan, I think Chelsea fans have licence to criticise. We won 2 Champions Leagues, and in the last 12 months we beat PSG, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. You beat PSG in the Club World Championship, for goodness sake, Daniel, which most clubs weren't involved with or interested in. Where did you finish this season? Just be respectful. I'm not an Arsenal fan. Okay, I didn't like the way they played, but I respect what they've achieved this season.
Well, they won the league by 7 points.
7 points, yeah.
So well done.
Yeah, absolutely.